Hey everyone, welcome back to Empower Autism. My name is Joseph Shade, and our goal here at Empower Autism is just to get information out to parents about autism, about applied behavior analysis. It's also to empower individuals with autism to live independent and healthy lives. So, in this episode, we're talking about stimming. Should it be corrected? And the very quick answer to that is no, it does not need to be corrected, right? Before people start jumping into comments and getting angry, stimming does not need to be corrected. But let's just start off by talking about what stimming is. And it's really just any repetitive behavior that is displayed by an individual. So this could look like hand flapping, it might look like rocking, they might look at their fingers, they might repeat the same phrases over and over, and this is going to be stimming. So, why do individuals with autism engage in stimming? Uh, there is not a concrete, solid answer to this, but the main thoughts that seem to be most accurate from individuals who have autism is that it helps to regulate emotion. When they're feeling super happy, you might see them jumping around and stimming. Or when they have other emotions, they might lead to stimming. It also could block harmful sensory input or distracting sensory input. It could be helpful that way. It also might just be reinforcing internally to that individual. The most important thing to know or to note here is that every single person, neurotypical, neurodivergent, doesn't matter, engages in some sort of stimming behavior, right? So when I get nervous to regulate that emotion, I start to shake my leg, right? If I was taking a test in school, my leg would be shaking the entire time. If you see me clicking my pen a million times, chewing on plastic straws, chewing on bottle caps, these are all stimming behaviors. These behaviors might just present differently in individuals with autism. So it seems like that stands out with those individuals because people don't see it as often, but we always see people jiggling their legs. We always see people biting their nails, clicking their pens, fidgeting with their hands. These are all stimming behaviors. It might just present more frequently in individuals with autism, and it just might present differently in individuals with autism. So the question then becomes, do we correct it? And in general, the answer is no, right? I don't need to correct my stimming behavior. There should be no reason to correct this individual's stimming behavior. And that might be hard for some parents to hear, right? Nobody wants their child to stand out. And I totally understand that. But we also want to give them the independence, the autonomy to be the person that they are, right? If we force them to stop stimming, that is not part of who they are. They should have the independence to choose that, especially if it regulates their emotion, if it blocks harmful sensory input, if it is reinforcing to them. They should have that option to do that when they want. There are times, I believe, that we need to teach individuals how to discriminate between when it is appropriate to stim and when it is inappropriate to stim. For instance, if we are working on crossing the street with a child with autism and they are crossing the street and the entire time they are staring at their hand stimming, this is now a dangerous behavior, right? So it's not that we need to get rid of that behavior completely, but we need to teach the individual to not engage that behavior when crossing the street, right? We want that child's head up. We want them looking left, right. This is a That separately, that's a very difficult behavior to teach crossing the street. It has a ton of variables, and we're going to discuss that later in different episodes. But that is a very difficult behavior to teach, especially if now your child is engaging in stimming while it is occurring. Also, stimming can interfere with learning sometimes. If all they do is engage in stimming behaviors throughout the day, it is hard to learn new things, right? It's hard to listen, it's hard to pay attention. Um, so we want to try and limit it if it is a problem, right? We're only limiting stimming if it is a danger, if it is a problem to the individual, and it's limiting stimming. We're not going to eliminate it from this person's emotional regulation, right? That's just not fair to that individual, just like it wouldn't be fair to you. So how do we get better with this? The answer is to really increase awareness in the general public. It stinks when you go out and you feel like people are staring at your child. I totally get that. That is a difficult thing to do. You don't want that for your child, right? You want them to fit in. That is just normal. But we need to create awareness to the general public of what stimming is, so that when we see it out in the public, people aren't staring, people aren't made uncomfortable by it. But also, that's their own problem, right? As a behavior analyst, I've realized that if I go out into the community with individuals with autism, at least early in my career, when kids would engage with in stimming, that would make me uncomfortable because I was always like, people are staring. What am I going to do? Those are my own insecurities. Those are my own insecurities, thinking that people are staring at me, that people have a problem with me, or have a problem with this child. That child or that individual might have no insecurity about that. It might not be a problem with that person. So we need to make sure that we check our own insecurities as parents, as behavior analysts, so that we are not projecting that onto the individual. If the individual has insecurities about it, we can definitely help them work on those behaviors, for sure. But that should be up to the individual. Again, unless it's a dangerous, unless it's harmful to the individual. We also know that autism masking is a major problem. So this is if we keep teaching them to get rid of their stimming, to get rid of their autistic behaviors. This is called autistic masking, and it can lead to higher levels of depression and anxiety in individuals with autism. That research is out there. We know that 100% for sure. And sometimes it's us as parents and behavior analysts trying to get them to look a different way or act a different way, and that's what autism masking. Or sometimes it's even them who don't want to stand out, right? So they try and hide that behavior on their own, and it leads to higher levels of depression and leads to higher levels of anxiety. That is a major problem. um, so yeah, we need to get that awareness out there of what stimming is, so you don't get that looks. But again, even if we get those looks, just make sure we check our own insecurities. Do not project them onto that child. So, in summation, stimming, yes, we can work on it if it's a problem or if the individual wants to work on it, but we should give them the independence, the allowance to do that. That is part of who they are. That is part of their diagnosis. That is part of their life. And everyone engages in it. It just looks different. So we talk a lot about autism. We talk a lot about behavior analysis. So stick with us, comment, like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at empowered-autism, or visit our website at empowered-autism.com. Hope to see you soon.